I will talk a little bit about energy savings in legacy building. The reason why we are doing this is that to compete with global heating, we need to reduce the carbon dioxide emissions, and building contribute to a huge amount of the carbon dioxide emissions. And to meet the Paris Accord, we need to decrease the energy consumption in building with 30%. And that is very easy to do. It is just to shut off the ventilation, let it heat up or cool down to whatever. But at the same time, we need to also consider the health and the comfort in the buildings. And the air pollutions in the environment is one of the largest contributors to health issues in Europe. And it's about 400,000 premature deaths due to bad air. And we spend a lot of time indoors, so the indoor air is super critical. Taking just, for example, radon gas that are existing in certain types of soil contribute with 2% of the lung cancer cases in Europe. That is just one thing, but otherwise you have particles and all of that. So we need to optimize both reducing the energy consumption, and we want to increase the indoor air quality in the building. What we're doing that is to optimize and control the building. We connect the existing building management system. Typically we're using carbon dioxide sensors as a proxy if it is bad air in the building, and we need to increase the ventilation there. We're also pulling out all the existing interesting signals from the BMS system. We're running that in a machine learning algorithm in order to learn how the building behaves, and taking in social data, taking weather data, and so on. So we can come up with the best way to control the building for the coming 15 minutes. And we're doing that every 15 minutes, and we're constant learning. It takes about 1 month of the system in order to learn the data from the building and how to control it. The focus is that, okay, we need to make savings, but even more important is that we need to also keep the indoor air quality better. And especially in COVID times and similar, this was also a huge selling point. And this is something that we are running and doing, and we are controlling over 2 million square meters in Europe. And now we are also having some smaller deployments here in the US. And the kind of key takeaways from here, if not going into the technical parts, but rather to see why this is a fruitful business and why more people should do it, that is that adding sensors with LoRa is very easy, and the sensor gives insights to the building that is really needed. In many buildings, there are just too little signals today to make an efficient control of it. We need to optimize both the energy and the health in order to increase the sustainability of the building. And the LoRaWAN is a very good backbone in order to add the sensors. And the way that we are selling this is that we are trying to avoid the IT, we try to avoid the CTO departments, we're addressing the sustainability officers of larger companies and the CFOs. Because this is typically a strategic decision by real estate companies to make sure that their buildings are sustainable, so they can do, for example, green building certification with LEEDs, etc., because that increases the valuation of the building, and also that they can getting better financing of it. In Europe, it's very common with the green bonds that both the European Union and different banks are making sure that their investments and that they are lending to sustainable projects. And just some live examples from a building, fairly small hotel and office of 25,000 square meters that has like 4 air handling units and 6 heating circuits and 5 cooling circuits. And it used to be more like an on-schedule ventilation there. After that, we installed the system and took control of the building, and after the month of learning for the algorithm, we can see that we can take away the high level of carbon dioxide levels in landscapes or in conference rooms. We could increase the temperature, and in Sweden, this was during the cold periods, so that was a good thing. But we can also making sure that all the temperatures and the air quality are within the certain limit that you want to control. And we got the savings of 20% of the electricity, 25% of the heating, and 24% of the cooling. And it's not uncommon that you both have heating and cooling in the same building, and not all, quite often they are also competing each other. So it was a return on investment for the real estate owner of less than 1 year.
All right, thanks, Stefan. You know, I spent time with Cisco at their Live EMEA event in Amsterdam last month, and I know especially in Europe, there's keen focus around power consumption and reduction and that sort of thing, and so this is a great illustration, Stefan, I think, of that. And then also just the sustainability aspects as well, and where I see LoRaWAN really shining is with respect to sustainability. That was a theme that's carried forward from